Well, now to the story of a local lawmaker and her breast cancer battle. Many people were surprised when Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz announced recently she had been battling breast cancer for the past year. I had a chance to sit down with her at her home about the moment she told her children she had cancer.
Thank you, honey.
When Wasserman Schultz first learned she had breast cancer, her biggest concern was for her children.
1, 2, 3.
9-year-old twins Jake and Rebecca and 5-year-old Shelby.
At that point, I didn't know, am I going to need chemo? Am I going to need radiation? Am I going to, how is it going to impact them?
The 42-year-old Democratic Congresswoman found the lump during a self-breast exam in December of 2007 and had it biopsied.
3 days later, I got that call that every woman dreads, and they said I wasn't fine and I had breast cancer. So it was pretty devastating.
But that wasn't the worst of it. She learned she was a carrier of a gene that put her at a high risk for a recurrence of breast or ovarian cancer. To decrease those chances, Wasserman Schultz opted to have her ovaries removed. She also had a double mastectomy.
It was very sad for me to, even though I'm done having kids, and it was sad for me. Those are the parts that gave life to my children and sustained them and helped them grow.
The woman, who is so used to being in the public eye, also made the decision she would fight the disease in private to protect her children. She didn't want her kids to know that she was fighting breast cancer.
I fully planned to tell them when I was done with it all. I wanted to get all the way through it and make sure that I could confidently tell them, look them in the eye and say, this is what your mommy had breast cancer, and now I'm okay.
She went to work in Congress and campaigned actively for Barack Obama, all while she was undergoing major surgeries in a Washington, D.C. hospital. Only a few of her staffers knew what she was going through.
I would have the procedure in the morning and go back to my apartment when I was released, rest for a while, and then go to the chamber, cast my vote, and go back home.
It was a long year, but Wasserman Schultz says she is now cancer-free, and just a few days ago, she sat down to tell the most important people in her life, her children, what she had been going through.
I wanted to do it more casually. I didn't really want to have this conversation burned in their brain forever, like the day Mom told us she had breast cancer.
She said that she had breast cancer, and she said not to worry, that it's all gone. She's fine because I don't have it anymore.
Now the Congresswoman is working to pass legislation to educate young women about breast cancer. The public servant taking on the public role of breast cancer survivor. To her kids, she's something much more important.
She's a really good mom, and I love her a lot.
Maybe God had a plan somewhere to be able to use me to be able to help other women detect their breast cancer early also. Make sure that I stay around for a while to be able to do that. That's definitely my plan.
Very brave woman. Just unbelievable that she went through all of that and didn't share that with people. And
in retrospect,
yeah, now you understand why.
But she was around all year, it seemed. Incredibly active in the campaign. She was on TV all the time. It's amazing that she went through this and still managed to be out there doing her job, and on top of that, campaigning for Barack Obama.
It is amazing. And she said she also didn't want it to define her for the entire last year, for it always to be the subject brought up. But very
really
brave.
Impressive woman, yeah.